In today's world, freedom of speech, the right to think for oneself and share without fear, is a critical value that serves as a driving force for democracy. Freedom of speech allows individuals to have different opinions and to share these ideas with each other, an exchange that can surface and respond to emerging challenges. And therefore, we should not only pursue freedom of speech as an essential individual right, but also because we hope to see the inclusive plural innovations that works for all. We can imagine that if there is no freedom of speech in a society, people may lose the ability to think beyond what they were taught. Because of its freedom of speech, we would see that Taiwanese, especially young people, are more independent in their ability to reflect and to co-create our democracy. More than ever, we need to ensure that freedom of speech is fully realized in Taiwan. Of course, we have also observed some repercussions of the abuse of freedom of speech. For example, we've seen cyberbullying, which is also an obstacle to the freedom online. And therefore, it is the goal of our joint efforts to help our society develop a mature system of freedom of speech. We also hope that through the exercise of freedom of speech, as well as the tempering of its abuses, everyone can learn together to become more and more democratic. The rise of cyberspace has revolutionized the content of the speech and the vehicle of speech. In the online world, the government, civil society, and their speech expression through transmission goes viral. Even body languages can become topics for discussion. So we do need to address this one issue. Will this process of online communication cause all kinds of harm due to the expression of emotions or even escalating into hate speech? In the more antisocial corners of some social media, this online harm is more serious than physical harm. And with the advance of this new era, understanding the implications of freedom of speech and developing more pro-social social media norms are issues that both those in the legal field and in the government must pay attention to. The single most important difference between the internet and traditional newspapers is interactivity. The network is inherently two-way with downloads and uploads. Early on, the number of downloads were large and the bandwidth for uploads were small, but now the amount of uploading and downloading has tended to equalize. And this means that everyone has a certain degree of voice in the online world, which includes the familiar concept of self-media. And if you have ever posted on the internet, like uploading a video to YouTube, you are a media producer yourself. People who work professionally in media for a living bring a certain degree of professional quality and ethics to their posts. But now everyone can produce self-media without such training. Because of this new ability, we need more comprehensive education in free speech and ethics in today's Taiwanese society. Through the Forward-Looking Infrastructure Act of the Executive Yuan, we have made great efforts in digital infrastructure to implement access to broadband as a human right and to empower media competence in our curriculums. As this right represents equal participation and also resource sharing in society, we wish to do better and better in this regard. The freedom of speech and human rights protections enjoyed by the people of Taiwan have won international recognition. According to the People Power Under Attack report by Civicus, we have once again been named the only country in the Asia Pacific with a completely open civic space for 3 consecutive years. And in the 2021 World Press Freedom Index published by Reporters Without Borders, Taiwan maintains its 43rd position. It's hailed as one of the Asia Pacific models for press freedom. And according to the Freedom in the World 2021 report released by the American NGO Freedom House, Taiwan is ranked 2nd among Asian countries with a high score of 94, only behind Japan. Freedom House also states that since 2000, Taiwan's dynamic and competitive democracy has allowed 3 peaceful regime transitions between rival parties, and the protection of civil liberties has been strong overall. Taiwan is a beacon of freedom and democracy. We have always respected universal values such as freedom of the press, and the degree of freedom of the press have also been repeatedly rated as a free country by Freedom House. As of December 2020, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has registered 71 foreign media entities in Taiwan, with a total of 124 foreign media reporters. In Taiwan, we regard freedom of speech as a core value, not as an instrumental value that is only followed when expedient. If some expressions abuse the freedom of speech, we must find a way to address the problem without violating the freedom of speech itself. Thank you for listening. Live long and prosper.